The use of LSD is decreasing. Nationwide, it may be true, but here we've found that LSD still commands a good part of the market for the illicit drugs. Speed is making its headway, making great headway into the illegal drug use in the area. It is on the upswing, I would say.
Mike Lee, Channel 8 News at the Dallas office of the Federal Bureau of Drug Abuse Control. If speed is actually on the increase in Dallas or across the nation, it could be a potentially more dangerous problem than LSD ever was. Agent Jim Green explains.
Speed, it can be more dangerous than LSD, to the general public at least. Contrary to LSD, speed, when used by a person, causes him to want to be seen and heard. It's a powerful stimulant. It relieves a person from his inhibitions. It may cause him to do things he wouldn't do otherwise.
So what you're saying is there's much more of a danger of open violence with speed as compared with LSD.
Very definitely. With LSD, the users like to secret themselves into a room or some setting, and they will more than likely remain in this particular place, but not so with the use of speed.
You would be opposed then to anyone trying to put the report as it now stands into Dallas?
Yes, I would. Neighborhood meetings or individuals or groups getting together and discussing their mutual problems. This seems to me to be the way to which we must go if we want solution.
Is there anything in the report that could be applied directly to Dallas without modification?
I'm not quite ready to say what does and doesn't apply in detail because the report is big, and I think we should ask the city manager's staff to brief it for us in much the same way they are now about finished doing with the IACP police report.
The city of Fort Worth today took its first look at the proposed master plan for the long-range development of a municipal office building complex. The city council got its first gander at the impressive new structure in the Fort Worth Club. The master plan's first stage provides for the design and construction of an office building south of the present City Hall to be financed out of the $5,900,000 bond issue of 1965. Before attending the unveiling of the new municipal structure plan, the City Council approved a reduction in water rates for outlying communities from the existing 8 cents per 1,000 gallons to 5 cents. The Council also approved the request to seek federal funds in the amount of $150,000 to complete an air and water pollution study. Tarrant County Commissioners approved today the hiring of 5 new deputies at the request of Sheriff Lon Evans, who also asked for another patrol unit. Legal advisor Jim Morgan said that the Attorney General had verified his earlier ruling that commissioners could shift funds from surplus accounts to delinquent accounts. Bob Gooding, Channel 8 News in Fort Worth.
Despite that statement on drugs out of Washington today, federal officials here in Dallas have not seen any decrease in the use of LSD or LSD traffic. And that new drug that Commissioner Goddard spoke of, speed, which is a methadone, is not actually a new drug at all. But here's the important point.
That we're all wondering about is how a man could get into the position where he would be able to get away with the money like this.
Well, Vern, he was a most trusted employee. We had 3 of our directors to interview him, and he was very thoroughly screened. In fact, we had an investigation into his background and could find nothing detrimental in his background, and we placed a good deal of faith and trust in this gentleman.
It's the kind of a thing, then, that can happen to any kind of an organization.
You read about it happening in banks all the time, and you put your faith and trust in individuals, and you just don't know how it's going to turn out.
Well, of course, we're also concerned not only with the man himself, but with the money.
Right.
What will happen there?
Well, we feel like that we are very close to locating what has happened to the money within the next 2 days, and that it will be fully recovered. If by chance it is not recovered from this ex-employee, the firm Dodson & Company is insured, and so all funds will be replaced.
Each city has its own individual characteristics, its own clusters of people who, through custom and through exposure to those around them, have come to think in certain ways. They have different levels of either affluence or poverty and different social conditions in many ways.